Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is Thursday night, our Women's Advanced Bible Study, 7th of October, 2021. We're going to be dealing with some stuff I saw in Joshua and breaking it down later on in the lesson. So I'm asking everybody to like and share, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification button. And this is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh, which is the Old Testament, and the Torah, first 5 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai. Shalom and welcome to everyone. We'll do our moment of silence, prayer, songs, and then do a little current event. Okay. Oh Lord, we come this day praising thee and worshiping thee for thy might and thy power and thy great understanding. Oh Lord, the end times that you are foretold are upon us. Oh Lord, give us strength and wisdom to endure all that thou hast foretold. Give us, O Lord, the knowledge to rightly divide thy word, that it is delivered in righteousness and in truth. There is great confusion among your inheritance, O Lord, now that you are awakening them. For I know, O Lord, that your hand is sure and that your hand is firm. O Lord, we need you so very much at this latter days when we will tarry and depend upon you. O Lord, because of this, because that we know that there's none else besides you, and that you are our deliverer and our redeemer. Peace be unto you. Okay. Somebody gonna read a song?
Okay, let me get that out. Okay.
Okay.
The one I selected is the one I always go to. This is the one I guess that's considered the song for protection.
Okay.
Um, so 91, and this
Okay.
is kinda also my confirmation song. So I always go back to it.
Okay.
Um, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress. My God, in Him I will trust. Surely He will deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shall thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by day, the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at the right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways. They shall bear up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. Thou shalt tread upon the lion and the adder, the young lion and the dragon shall thou trample under feet, because he hath set his love upon me. Therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. He shall call upon me, and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. So it's so many in that I
Okay.
love. Like I said, the confirmation when we were talking about it when I first got on here with you, Brother Leonard,
Okay.
and I had to learn this psalm several years before at a Christian church, and the minister there he wanted everybody to memorize Psalms 91 for protection. And he was saying, we may not have access to Bibles, and he just was giving us specific, scriptures he wanted us to put to memory. Um, so when I came in here and we were studying it one day, and it said, and we're talking about Michael being an angel, and then that I never noticed where it's talking about the he will cover thee with thy feathers, and under his wings
Right.
shall be, thou shalt trust. So when I read that, I just kind of felt the presence. I felt like that was my confirmation um, of who the Lord of Hosts was, and
Okay.
I had you know had the scripture in my you know on my list and of my repertoire for so long, and I just had never noticed that. I kind
Right.
of looked over that as far as angels, because they didn't discuss angels.
Right.
And the other one that really right now in this time of this pandemic, when they're talking about, you know, the angels have charge over thee, and um, where is it? 1,000 shall fall by that side, 10,000, but none shall come nigh thee. And there shall be in 10 where it says, there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. Just so like much confirmation of his protection, especially right now. So that's why I
Right.
chose this one, Psalms 91.
Okay. Yeah. Anybody else have anything on that? Okay. Everybody good? Yeah, that was a good song right there to read. And, like you said, to keep it as a reference, to give you some motivation. Yeah. Okay. Uh, Anybody got any current events they want to bring up?
I don't have any current events, but I kind of want to um, discuss a topic that we brought up last night in reference to the black women that are missing. Um, After I got off the line last
Right.
night, today, I mean, I was just curious because the numbers are just so high, you know. Um, so I just went and I was doing some
Right.
reading and researching and things like that, and maybe I can also get some feedback from you all on what you think about that and the reason why uh, they are keeping it pretty much under wraps. You know, I was researching in like New York and Chicago and Michigan, California. Their numbers are sky high, and after doing some research on the internet, a lot of the girls in New York are, young girls, and I noticed a lot of them had Hebrew names. So
Okay.
that really caught, my attention. And
Okay.
Minnesota seems to be the first state to have a task force put in place for the missing and murdered Black girls. So um, I think her name was Ruth Richardson. She got that law passed, and they're gonna put together a task force. This came out last month, I think it was in September. It was announced. So just not understanding why they are keeping that hid so much, and seems like when it comes to our black men, they are killing them in the streets, but the missing and murdered black women are being kept, you know, hidden.
Right. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Mm. How long has this been going on? It's just like been this high for a long time. Because I
Yes.
hadn't heard about it either until we were discussing it. And I saw something recently on it. I think the day before yesterday. But until y'all brought it out again, I thought it was something new.
Right. Yeah. I was, like I said, just really like what's on my mind. So I just started doing some research, and it goes way back. It's pretty much like they're just saying maybe, oh, they're prostitutes, or they're drug addicts, or something like that. But me thinking, because some of these women are, women that hold good positions and, things like that, right? So my thing is, we get in a certain spot, some of us as Black women, and we get with, you know, the white man and think that he's going to offer us more. And I think that's where a lot of it is coming from. They are
Mm.
promising them this lavish life, and they may give it to them in the beginning, yes, but then they lure them off somewhere and we never see them again.
And then you had the trafficking. I knew that was a big thing.
Right,
Yes.
right,
They could be over in another country somewhere, being sex slaves, because I really do think that's what they do. They ship them out to these other nations, and
right,
you never
and,
find them because they're not here.
Right.
right.
They're
They
killing.
breed them too. Breed them
Right. Right.
because melanin is, melanin is is at the top of the list for
Hmm.
stuff that's wanted. It's higher than gold is. So, yeah.
Right.
So,
And with this being Women's Night, I just really wanted to bring that up and just get it out there because it's serious. Like I said, they're killing our Black men, uh, stealing, the Black women. And I think that, it's just amazes me how you don't hear about it on the news or nobody's really, talking about it. But if a white girl come up missing, you know what I'm saying? They're out searching with no problem.
Exactly.
Quick.
That's
Not
it.
not even many, blacks are really out there, you know, talking about it and, getting it out in the news or on social media or none of that.
If they're not, if it's not somebody immediately that they know, um, because I'm like I'm saying, I was surprised. I mean, it's so many. That was like what was it? How
Uh,
many a year?
100,000.
100,000.
That's like, they're talking about, I don't know. We've been focusing on the police violence so much,
Right.
in the media. That's more, but it's like you said, it's kind of like this has been happening and it's kind of been underground. And
Right.
so a lot of those people probably are people that people don't, like people that, even if they're, streetwalkers and things like that, they deserve, not to be killed and, captured but they probably are, going to people that don't have ties with other people or that people don't miss because they're in the street or on drugs or you never know.
Right. Right.
I don't know how they could been getting away with that many people a year.
For so
Um,
long.
yeah, I don't understand.
And so far for 2021, I want to say it was up to like 64,000 so far for
Wow.
this year.
Hmm.
And I was reading a story on a gentleman that became a model. He was from Atlanta and he went to New York, went back home to Atlanta, but he ended up in Vegas some kind of way. And on his way back home, he was murdered. But when they found him, all of his organs was missing.
Hmm. Is that the boy that the dad was looking for?
His mom was looking for him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that's what I'm saying. You don't hear about that. And they want to say it was because of the Vegas heat. Now come on.
No. And they opened an investigation again about that high school boy that, they found rolled up in that mat and they can understand. They said he suffocated it going in to get shoes out of the mat. Um,
Right.
they're opening that up again about because his organs were missing when they exhumed his body to investigate again. And it was they had newspapers or paper stuffed in his body. Um, and so his parents were like, they don't authorize anybody to take his organs. So,
Right. I mean,
mhm,
we talk more about the jab than we do this. And this is,
mhm,
to me, very serious. This is
mhm,
our people. I
yeah,
mean, it's just not being talked about.
mhm,
And I'm a black woman. I have a black daughter, granddaughter, my sister. You know, um,
Yeah.
we just need to be aware out
Mm-hmm.
there. Stay
Mm-hmm.
alert.
Yeah. Because they don't know. It's like, we're walking around. We don't realize until you say that number. You don't realize. If you don't know, if it hadn't hit close to home, you don't realize. And if it did hit close to home, you would think it was like, okay, this is one person. You didn't know that it was going on all across the country like this.
Right, right. Hmm.
Oh, he said
I
melanin
right.
priced at 350 grams.
Right.
Wow.
Hide and go.
Mm,
My goodness. Wow. I just kind of wanted to, talk about that a little bit. I just felt as though that was very important
mm-hmm.
with the numbers being so high in missing Black women. I just felt as though tonight would be a great night to talk about that. But, again, it has to be talked about across the board, not only here. I mean, it just really did. It alarmed me. I don't know about other people, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was like that either until last night.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Look
I
what they're
did
doing,
call and
right?
kind of let my daughters know. I did mention that to them yesterday
Right.
Right.
when we got off.
It ain't nothing new. When you track it back, you track it back to the 200 angels where they went. They went to Africa, right? Then all this stuff they're talking about the UFOs and the abductions, and then you go to you know, all the stuff they say about I was telling somebody the other day about that, how they was putting out these alerts a couple of years ago saying that uh, black women need to watch where they go, and they need to, whatever they're doing, whatever they have to do, they need to do it before it get dark. And if they out at dark, when it's dark, they need to stay somewhere where it's area lit up at.
Mm-hmm.
So and like I was saying before, the media is so good at covering up stuff. We're not paying attention to that type of stuff because the media can cover it up so good and
Yeah, they
give you
got
what they
it.
want to give you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, right. And as Black women, we need to look out for each other more
Mm-hmm.
versus against each other. It's
Mm-hmm.
serious out there. I mean, when you read the stories on man, it just blew my mind.
Right. It ties to this question right here.
Mm-hmm.
It says, have you heard of the 330,000 children sodomized with crucifixes by the Catholic nuns in France, uh, dating as far back as 1950? Jeremiah 49:10. I will make Esau bad. Yeah, right. So, like a lot of this stuff too is tied to sacrifice. Like you said, the crucifix, those satanic sacrifices. You
Mm,
know, so when you start talking about uh, uh, worshiping up in the high places that Israel had that problem with,
hmm.
they learned that from the Amorites and from the Canaanites. So what did that entail? It entailed human sacrifice. They was taking those fallen angels that required human sacrifices from the people, and whereas our Lord required animal sacrifices. But these people, these fallen angels, from the time they came down here, they've been inquiring for human sacrifice.
Mm,
So it got to be with the population the way it is now and the way the world's set up. You can get 100,000 people. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the way they have us regulated down to nothing. Like we ain't nothing. So nobody pays no attention to what goes on with us. So they just it's like a field day. Nobody paying no attention. A light being shined on it somewhat now, but they ain't paying no attention. It's like Lord of Hosts. How many people know who he is? So That's how they work.
Right, right. And just it's not only in the US, it's also in Britain, you know, where the black women are, you know, coming up missing in vast numbers. I mean, it's all over.
Right.
Wow. I was
Mhm.
just reading Enmity. I was thinking when we were talking about the women, and then I was thinking about, you know, the evil in the garden, and then the curse. When you
Right.
put enmity between the woman
Right,
and I was reading the enmity means the state of being an enemy. So, you know, it could be all tied together, why the attack is on so many black women, you know, specifically black women. So, you know, because that's who was in the garden, you know. So I don't, this is not just a coincidence. Uh,
right,
it says enmity suggests hatred that may be open or concealed.
Right. Right. Right.
Mhm.
That's not like I was saying before. Another thing about that too, uh, people, when that conversation come up, they get on the defensive, and instead of rightly dividing and dealing with it, they get on the defensive about it. But he's like you just said, he telling us off out the gate, it's some drama going on between the serpent and the woman, point blank, and it's all the way down through eternity, all the way down to right now. It's drama going on with the serpent and the woman. And so we know that Japhet is the serpent seed. So look where we are today. And so I was saying another thing I was saying about that they look over too about when the transatlantic slave trade was going on. I was saying we see right now how the African American women look. They're the most attractive women out of all the women. So how in the world can they be looking like they were showing them on the in Hollywood on the slave ship? They didn't look like that. They was awesome, beautiful women, and they want to make them portray them look a certain type of way because they are that was they saying that was their justification, saying that we was a nobody, a no people. So it was
Yeah,
justified to do that. But when you understand they was high, like I said, the men was attractive, the women was attractive, and they was highly intelligent. Then it shines a whole nother light on them, how wicked they are because it's not how they portraying in Hollywood ain't where it was. That was the reason why they were saying, "Don't look at me, look down," because of our countenance made them feel low, so they wouldn't they
yeah.
could
And I was reading about when they made the women cover their heads
right,
with cloth. They didn't want, you know,
right,
if they thought our hair, I don't know. And then the scars made them look even more regal. So then they, you know, it's like,
right,
you know,
right,
you jealous of a slave. You know, you jealous of somebody's hair that's different from yours because they probably appreciated our difference and the uniqueness of our hair more than we did. Um, they probably saw
right,
it
exactly,
as a
exactly.
gift,
You
you
got
know,
us
unique. Go ahead.
right. They got us brainwashed, and even those back to the all these people missing. You got to look at the fact that that's the lynchings. It was a ritual. It was a ritual, and it was religious because they would come and take everybody once they did what they was going to do to the person, hung them and killed them. They would come up and take relics off of them. They take a finger, take a toe. Everybody got something and kept it preserved.
mm,
So right there, they how can you say all the things you say and all the things you've done, but you want this same person you say is nothing. You want to keep a part of his dead body preserved in your house,
right,
and that's all over the South. So it's, like I'm saying is you have to be a straight up nutcase to believe anything they say because you can see everything they do is just total opposite. You're saying we nothing and you treat us like
Absolutely.
nothing. At the same time, you turn around and every part of our body is holy.
Mm.
Where you
And
want
that
to keep
just
it.
shows to me the sickness,
Right.
the psychological, the what do they call it? The psychopaths, they have to have been and that they are to be able to do that to another. They wouldn't even do that to a dog. You do that
Right.
to another human being,
Right.
and to that, that's a different type of person,
Exactly. Right.
and we don't
And
know
even
what they did.
right. Go ahead. So even like I said, you don't even have to go no seminary, no school, no nothing. All you have to do is look at that, and you can see these people and us. We ain't come from the same place.
No.
Come from different origins. So that right there tells you some. I mean, you can't rightly divide that or something wrong. And that's another thing that's happening. That new thing they coming out with that was they fighting in the courts is that critical race theory. It's exposing them. They fighting like dogs to keep that from coming out in the school system.
Yes, they are, because it's going to tell the story of how they actually are.
Right. Is that something? Yeah.
Wow.
Is that something?
Mm.
Yeah. So I guess you can say an article that's pertaining to this too. I had mentioned it yesterday, but I went back and found it. It says also super rich are injecting blood from teenagers to gain immortality. Like, so here you go right here. Can you see that?
No. Now it's coming up.
Okay.
It's up now.
Okay. Okay. It says high profile black Bank of America executive murder suspect arrested by the LPD. Like this was just one. Yesterday was three of them. It says Black America executive Michelle Avon was found murdered in her California home on August 5th, and Los Angeles police have arrested a suspect, a former co-worker of the deceased. Avon, 48, was a mother of two, grandmother of one, and a senior vice president of Bank of America. Her family called the Los Angeles Police Department when they were unable to contact her. NBC Los Angeles reported a family member eventually found her unconscious and called the paramedics. Okay. To LAPD sources told NBC4 that Turner had a personal relationship with Avon, and she had recently talked about getting a restraining order against him. Los Angeles Daily News reported that it's a white man saying in a statement about Avon's death. The BOFA said, "We are devastated by the news. Michelle was a valued member of our company for more than 20 years and will be greatly missed. We extend our deepest sympathy to her family." Avon was selected as one of LA's influential black women leaders by Los Angeles Sentinel. In 2019, she joined the BOA in June in a role, Bank of America, in June, a role focused on attracting and retaining females and other underrepresented employees across the company. Okay, yeah, so that's what I was talking about yesterday.
Wow.
You comment on that?
Mm. It's real.
There's some right. It's happening all over the place too. That's the thing about it. Okay, got a couple more. Yeah, this is talking about like I said, every time we come up with different topics, I try to go back and just build off of it. So this right here is about the America thing and all that, and it's tied to a lot of information that I had gave out about Israel being over here in America. And yeah, so here we go.
So I'm a Pan African,
Can you
but
see
as
that?
of late, seems to be a lot of misconceptions going
No.
around about where dark skin
You can't see it?
No.
Hello?
No, we can't see it.
Okay, let me go back. See it now?
It looks like it's loading.
Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Black people come from in America. I'm going to attempt to break that down. The Black indigenous peoples movement are saying that they are the people that Columbus found on the shores of North America when he arrived, and that I'm okay with. What I'm not okay with is those same people are saying that they are not Africans. Here, according to all archaeological data, those natives came from Africa at multiple different time periods throughout history. So the first time was obviously a very long time ago, over 100,000 years ago. Africans migrated out of Africa and across what is now Asia. By the time they reached East Asia, those migrating people were now 50,000 years outside of Africa, and they were about to spend 30,000 years in the Siberian cold. They became known as the famously nomadic Mongoloid people, and eventually mixed with Siberian Caucasoids and crossed together across the Bering Strait into North America. It's important to point out that a genetic split happened at this time. This is why native Alaskans, better known as Eskimos, look like Chinese people.
And so all you have to do, like I was saying, you gotta just look at them, look at the people that they was here. They show you, they got all these pictures and images of them, and they don't look like us. Just like, and you listen to what he's saying, you see, you know.
Now I'm sure we all know what Eskimos look like. Chinky-eyed, short, stringy hair. One thing for sure, I've never seen a black one. So who are all those dark-skinned natives that Columbus saw when he showed up? So if black people in the Americas are the indigenous, then how did they end up so dark? After all, they would be the descendants of chinky-eyed, stringy-haired, really short stature, Eskimo, Mongol, Siberian, which explains why the real natives would look more like this.
Or like this.
Or like this.
Even as they migrated farther south into warmer temperatures like Mexico and Central America, they still came out looking like this.
Or this.
So where did our
dark skin coarse hair come from?
How did we start
looking like this?
Or like this?
Or like this?
Or even like this?
Or even like
I
this?
think one of the biggest misconceptions of Columbus and everybody that thinks like him is that before he existed, African people and the rest of the world had no boats.
I hear this from even black people on the indigenous wave who claim that because Columbus found us there, we must have always been there. So let's talk boats. First we'll talk about who had them, then we'll talk about who had the best of them. For starters, the ancient Egyptians had boats, one of which is famously buried with Pharaoh Khufu and was specifically an ocean liner used for exploration and war. The Vikings also had ocean ships long before Columbus sailed, but even the Vikings were ocean pirates. So they were pirates. Who were they robbing? Well, the Moors, of course. They were the most experienced sailors in that time and were actually leading those Europeans across the oceans. But at the pre-Columbus time period in question, the most powerful and wealthy kingdom in the world, it wasn't the Egyptians, it wasn't the Vikings either, and it was not the Moors. In fact, the Moors themselves bowed to the feet of this throne. That throne belonged to the Mali Empire, stretching from Timbuktu, Mali, all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. Timbuktu at that time was like the New York or Dubai of the 1300s. Mali at that time had the world's largest universities, libraries, tens of thousands of manuscripts, hospitals, and more. It was home to fierce kings like Sundiata Keita and also Mansa Musa, who until today remains the richest man to ever live. It would take Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos' money together to amass his wealth. And these guys are using their wealth to go to space. Now, you think the most powerful and wealthy kingdom in the world couldn't build and own ships? Well, of course they did. And in 1311, King Abu Bakr left his throne to his brother and set sail across the Atlantic with thousands of ships, never to return. Thousands of ships never returned. And mind you, these were giant ships carrying sometimes hundreds of people, and 3 times the size of the boats that are currently being used by poor Africans to migrate across the ocean. So if these desperately built boats can carry hundreds of Africans into the ocean, can you imagine the boats belonging to the richest kings who ever lived? With just 100 people on each boat times 3,000 boats, that's 300,000 people crossing the ocean. Which is also not hard to believe, considering Mansa Musa, the same kingdom, led over 60,000 people across the desert on foot to make Hajj in Mecca. So where did all those ships and people go? Well, where else? North, Central, and South America. This was confirmed by Mr. I'm Lost Looking for India, as he said that he found gold-tipped spears and other artifacts that could only be from Africa. So this means that over 300,000 Malian Africans had about 180 years of living in the Americas and mixing with the Asiatic, Eskimo, Mongol natives. And surely the Malians weren't the only ones, but this is the kind of exploration and migration that brought black skin to the Americas. And surely Dumbo Colombo had no idea where he was, so he summed us all up as Indians or natives. And of course, King Abu Bakr never laid claim to discover America because he knew it was already occupied. So ultimately, Columbus found 2 races of people who had been mixing for almost 2 centuries. Ancient Africans who, after 100,000 years outside the continent, arrived in America looking like Asians, and more recent Africans who traveled across the Atlantic on exploration missions. Now we know when the Europeans came, they ran many of those people out west in order to lay ground for the 13 colonies and eventually slavery. And because it's extremely difficult to enslave a people in their own land, more Africans were brought over for the slave trade. The proof of this is seen in the evidence of countless slave castles on both sides of the ocean, which I've had the opportunity to visit, and honestly, I pity the fool who doubts it happened. It's also important to point out that where the natives were sent into native country, as they called it, is today Oklahoma. And today, just about all maps of the Underground Railroad tend to leave that area out. So although obviously not documented, many slaves still snuck into that area and lived out their lives. Again, mixing and blending with the native population. And then again, after slavery, even more now freed slaves went out west during the Reconstruction and built whole communities and families with the natives who had been there for hundreds of years since the Trail of Tears. This paved way for cities like Tulsa, Greenwood, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. Hence the reason we now have blended native African families. So true, many Black Americans do have roots in America before or the Europeans. But it is false to say that we are all natives because it depends on when you arrive. It is also false to say that you are only native unless you resemble these people entirely. You should look something like the Asian, Eskimo, Mongoloid people. But if you got any form of black, you got African, either by way of exploration before Columbus or by way of the slave trade. But really quickly, let's take a look at what some Malian people look like today. This brother's a Malian politician. Doesn't he look like somebody's uncle in Middle America? This is another Malian politician. Now, doesn't he look just like Master P? Or this sister, she's a Malian singer, looking just like Erykah Badu. Or either Kaya. Now, mind you, Mali was the center of the world at the time with tons of diversity from people all over the world and around Africa. Let's see what a mixed race Malian would look like. This is Kareem Wad. He's the son of a Senegalese man, which Senegal used to be Mali Kingdom, and a white woman. Don't this brother look just like Evan Ross? Here's another angle. Saying all this to say we gotta stop all of this indigenous versus African beef. We gotta come together in unity. 4,000 ancestors and 10 generations, we all relate. And whenever you get tired of fighting for your life and your rights in America, there's always Africa to come home to.
Okay. Any comments?
Yeah, that would explain a lot. I know this is a lot of debate right now going on with that whole America being the promised land type thing and we were here.
Exactly.
So that does explain a lot of those
Exactly.
details.
Ain't that something? Yeah. Yeah. The thing about it is it's got to be dealt with. You know what I'm saying? It's like JC got to be dealt with. Okay. It's one more right here.
Here's another example of why Ghana, number one, is someplace you should consider visiting. And it's also an example of bridging the gap. In 2018, I took my first trip to Ghana and didn't know what to expect, but it's clearly changed my life. I've been to 9 different African countries, getting ready to add 2 more countries to the list, but it all started in Ghana. And here is one lady's story and why it moved her to move. Take a look.
Begin this hour with the story of an African country opening its arms to Black Americans. Ghana's tourism minister began encouraging African Americans to move there in 2019. As Black Lives Matters protests erupted, she said, quote, "You don't have to stay where you're not wanted." Deborah Patta spent time with one American who chose to make Ghana her home.
Ghana's Elmina Castle occupies a dark place in America's history. This used to be a central trading hub where African people from across the continent were bought and sold into slavery. Now, as the U.S. continues to confront its racist past, Ghana is turning that history upside down and welcoming Black Americans back home.
I was living what people would consider the American dream. I was educated, professional, had friends. I was a socialite, but I never felt safe.
Sonjai Davis was the epitome of Washington cool. Connected, successful, a therapist trained to deal with emotional health, and yet she was constantly looking over her shoulder.
There is just so much unrest.
Davis believes trauma is embedded in her DNA, from the transatlantic slave trade to the Tulsa race massacre in 1921, where some of her family were displaced.
I was beginning to take an emotional and psychological toll on me.
The trauma of racism.
It's the trauma. So my immediate thought all the time was, oh my gosh, what if a police officer pulls me over? Am I going to be physically safe? Am I going to come out of it alive?
Then George Floyd was murdered at the hands of a police officer, sparking global outrage that demanded this Black life had to matter.
I was barely holding on. I could feel myself nearing a nervous breakdown. And that's why I made the decision that I had to get out of there.
She had visited Ghana in 2019 during the government's Year of Return campaign, marking 4 centuries after the first slave ship reached Virginia. It attracted a record number of tourists aiming to convert visitors into residents.
Head of the African Diaspora Forum,
Erica Bennett, said after the death of George Floyd, they were inundated with inquiries.
Every day we get at least, and this is no exaggeration, at least 300 people saying, how can we relocate to Ghana?
About 5,000 African Americans have made the trip back to Ghana and stayed.
Yeah, there's another thing they ain't talking about. It's escalated.
Home is not a place.
Home is not a place.
How you feel.
It's how you feel where you are. The feeling of belonging, the feeling of welcome, and a sense of freedom.
And so, just over a year ago, Sonjai Davis traded her DC home for that sense of freedom.
It felt like a symbol for 2020.
I can't breathe. George Floyd said, and COVID, people battling.
I'm breathing. Yeah, very much so. Yeah, very much so.
Her therapy practice is now all online, and while she misses the convenience of modern American life, she's no longer looking over her shoulder.
I feel loved. I feel supported. I feel regarded. I feel like I matter. I don't feel like I'm looked at for the color of my skin. I'm just a person here.
That must be liberating.
That is just liberating. That is just the utopia of emotion. It feels really good.
Do you feel a connection to Ghana?
Do you feel a connection to Ghana in terms of the historical
It's
connection?
interesting you ask that question because I have been trying to muster up the ability to go back to the slave castle.
Slave castles on Ghana's Cape Coast. Are where many Black Americans are able to trace the beginning of that awful journey made by their enslaved ancestors.
I thought I was ready.
And
And
walking into the dungeon, I couldn't breathe. But I know I feel like I need to go again.
That was over a year ago. She's ready to try again. She's ready to try again. Walking in the shadow of horror. Old pain is palpably present here. In these godforsaken dungeons, captured slaves perished. Only a third made it out alive.
So listen, I had to inject this. So, like I said before, you got the Giza Plateau. You got 3 pyramids on the Giza Plateau. It's showing you where Egypt is. And Egypt and Israel connected. They left Egypt, went to Israel, went to the land of Canaan. They saying, here go the slave castle right here. People going to the slave castle. So that's like delusional, dysfunctional, because we see the slave castle. They strolled all along the west coast of Africa. So I mean, it ain't make no sense to me. You know.
This sliver of light facing the Atlantic, their last glimpse of home before being pushed onto ships, never to return. In all likelihood, your ancestors passed through here.
It's heavy.
It's really heavy, Deborah. You feel it though.
And it's made her regard America differently.
As
Black Americans, we're starting to come to the realization of our place in America.
We're coming to
understand that America was really never meant for us to be there as free people.
In a sense, that's why you left America. It's to reclaim yourself.
Exactly. So I know that I am in control of myself, my destiny, my dreams, and everything that I want for myself and that my ancestors wanted for me.
And on a recent trip back to Tulsa, she told them.
I went to the cemetery and told them, hey, I made it out of here.
I made
it back.
I'm sorry. I made it back. I got out of here.
Okay. Any comments? Hello?
Yeah, I think that's good. Good for her. I think we all kind of looking forward to that. So,
Right. Exactly.
that the Lord of Hosts directs it that way.
Okay. I'm gonna play this right here, and then we're gonna move on to something else.
Hello and welcome, beloveds, to the Dr. Mumbi Spiritual Show. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How are you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're moving into living life truly on your own times. This is a segment called Ask Dr. Mumbi, where you can email me on drmumbi@drmumbishow.com. Hey, Dr. Mumbi at drmumbishow.com. Our email was actually hacked. I mean, for the first time in a very long time. Long story. But so we haven't been getting a lot of emails. Our emails, have been going to spam, but we are slowly rectifying that. We had some spammers as well in our inbox. So, but you can always email me there or mumbi.taraki@gmail.com. Although we know Google stories for other days. Beloveds, I really just, I've been getting a lot of emails, people asking how much time do we have? And I would say no time at all, but on a serious note, because there's a lot of people who know that they need to make certain moves, who know that they need to, they've taken a certain decision, they're not going to bow to the New World Order, and that decision has consequences. And, and the only way that you will be able to stick by your decision, beloveds, is if you are prepared and you're out of the way of the total collapse of Babylon, because we're seeing Babylon collapse. And one of the things that, and I'll do a separate show on this, is the logistics. You see, they made the whole world interdependent and so interconnected. They literally created a web where, the Chinese were feeding the Americans were clothing whoever, it's just like everyone was interdependent. But most countries are not fully food sufficient, and that's why they find themselves, held at ransom by this New World Order technocracy. That's what some people are calling it, that is literally trying to take over the world while smiling at us and driving away. But you're running out of time, beloveds. I don't know if you can feel it. And there was a comment actually from one of my Patreon family. Gosh, I wish I could remember his name right now. And he was talking about how he felt people would have until March to get out of Babylon without having to take the mark of the beast. And some say you have until December. We've seen that November seems to be a very significant month. But you're running out of time in terms of, not even in terms of your relocation, if you're going to move, although I highly advise you to move out of the cities, beloveds, highly, at the very least. And it's so amazing how many people have contacted me telling me they've moved, even in Australia, like to some far distant remote village, all over the place. People are really moving, and I love that you're heeding the message of me and many others who are saying the same thing, because we're all tapping into the same consciousness that is literally, penetrating this sphere and battling it out in the physical for the souls of man. I know, heavy stuff. So you're running out of time in terms of preparing, beloveds. I talked about empty shells. Empty shells hit the divided states. They were seen in Wales, but now they've hit the divided kingdom. Here in Kenya, the price of fuel just went up by, almost 20 shillings, which is a lot. So everything has increased in price. People were going to demonstrate, and then, no one really came out onto the streets. But that's what's going to happen. There's going to be a massive inflation. Babylon is going to make it very hard for you to exist within the system. And this isn't for the people who have taken the double mac. I mean, if you've eaten the double mac and you're good, all the best. But for us who want to remain vegetarian, and I'm speaking in code right now, then really our time is running out in terms of preparing ourselves. Because now we're hearing that in the divided kingdom, the logistical network is actually breaking down. And, a lot of truckies aren't coming to have left, etc., etc. We're seeing in the divided states, schools don't have enough lunchtime food. The things I used to say about Africa, beloved, we don't have food to feed our children over lunch, and etc. It's happening in the divided states right now. Empty shelves, panic buying, all these things are unraveling. So you really don't have much time. And you need to be preparing yourself. And there are great preparation channels. If you can't leave the city, then check out this guy called, I think, City Prepper. Because there's a totally different way that you prepare in the city than you prepare outside of the city. Think about your security, especially my beloved sisters. Our womb is such a target right now. I mean, if you have to stay in the cities, at least have a place where if sugar really hit the fan, you could go and kind of hide out for a while. If you look at the divided states, I think they were even closing a lot of the national parks and campsites. So be wise, beloveds. Another thing is, actually, let's take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to get into how you can prepare at such a time as this, what you need to be doing. Maybe I'll stick to 5 things you should be doing right now. We'll be right back.
Okay. Any comments on that? That's all. If you want to go watch the whole thing, it's running out of time. Dr. Moon. Any comments on that? Okay.
This is the new Peloton trend. You got this.
Okay. So with that being said, I've been trying to digging around, trying to find some because we never really talk about it. I was trying to dig around for some especially for this platform right here. I was going to try to find something that help wise. So I'm gonna play this right here, and hopefully it helps somebody. Let me get it.
There, dear people. I hope you all are doing well. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you some of the herbs and do I have any
It's kind of low.
Yeah, well, one. So some herbs
Card it low.
and one of them is a flower that is pretty awesome for women's health. I'm actually taking a class right now called The Feminine Way of Plant Medicine, and we haven't gotten down into the different formulations or anything.
Okay.
As yet, but I just pretty much went to my little in-home apothecary and just pulled all these different herbs to share with you. So the very first one that we're going to talk about is, let me open it up so you can see it. And everything I'm going to share is dry, okay? So this is black cohosh. And black cohosh is very good for menstrual cramps. It is good for PMS and is also good for menopause as well. And with all these herbs, you can pretty much make tinctures or teas. And I'm going to talk about that in a different video. But anywho, black cohosh for cramps, PMS, and menopause. The next one is chamomile. Some people say chamomile. It's anti-inflammatory, and it has a chemical constituent called glycine in it, and glycine helps to relieve spasms. It kind of works as a relaxant. So that is chamomile, however you prefer to say it. And the next one is cramp bark, right? So cramp bark is awesome for any kind of cramps, obviously. That's why it's called cramp bark, for cramp relief. It's good for pain, and it's also good for postpartum spasms as well, or any pain. So after you have your baby, it is good for any pain and during the time that you have your period. All right, so cramp bark is another one. I also have some stinging nettle hair, which they actually do sting you when they're like fresh. So you have to be very mindful of that. But stinging nettle or nettle leaf is pretty much a uterine tonic, and it has vitamins A, vitamins C, D, and K. It also has calcium, potassium, iron, and sulfur as well. So again, one of the main things for this is a uterine tonic. All right, so that's very good for women's health as well. The next one is passion flower, and passion flower is a pain reliever. All right, it works as a mild sedative, and in a lot of cultures, they actually give this to children to help them sleep at night. I make a tea out of it with some other different ingredients for my son to help him sleep at night. It's also good for stress and depression, and and it helps to calm your nerves. So this is a very good one to mix in any blends for women's health as well. This one here is with, no, not this one yet. This is peppermint leaf, and this peppermint actually comes from my father's farm in Jamaica. So the last time my mother went to Jamaica, she picked it and she put it out in the sun to dry, and she brought it back. So that's why it still looks whole, because I actually picked them off of the stems. So this is peppermint, and peppermint is good for relieving nausea, and it helps with bloating and indigestion. And a funny little backstory. When I was in high school, I went to an all girls high school, right? So in the nurse's office, the woman had this tiny little bottle of peppermint oil, like the essential oil. And anything that was wrong with you, the nurse would give you like a cup of hot water, and you were only allowed to put 2 drops of peppermint oil in there. You could not go over 2 drops or you'd be in trouble with the nurse. And let me tell you, to this day, like the girls I went to high school with, we still joke about it, because that woman, like, if you came in there with like a sword, 2 drops of peppermint, headache, 2 drops of peppermint, cramps, 2 drops of peppermint, like that woman's remedy for everything was 2 drops of peppermint. But anywho, the next one is raspberry leaf, and raspberry leaf is also a uterine tonic, pretty much like nettle leaf, and it also has a lot of vitamins in there. So it has the B complex vitamins. There's vitamin A in here, C, D, E. This also helps with anxiety as well, and it helps to relax the stomach muscles. So raspberry leaf is another good one for women's health. Actually, you know what? Let me just kind of, I'll do that after. Line them out after. The next one is one of my absolute favorites. I've been using this one for years. It's called valerian. So valerian root smells awful. You can smell it a mile away. But it is very good because it works as a sleep aid, it's a pain reliever, and it helps with anxiety as well. So this is one where, like, if you're on any kind of depression, antidepressant medicine, or anxiety medicine, definitely talk to your doctor first. But if you're going to be like driving around and stuff during the day, don't make a tea out of valerian, because valerian helps to promote good sleep. All right. And the next one, let me see, where is it? I'm looking for my willow bark. Okay, this is white willow bark. And here's the deal with white willow bark. It has something in it called salicin, which is the active chemical constituent of aspirin. So if you're allergic to aspirin, then you definitely can take white willow bark, but it is very, very good for you. It is literally aspirin. This is like natural aspirin. So that's where these chemists got their ingredients from. And another one is dandelion leaf. Dandelion leaf, I have the root here as well. These are good during the month when you're having a period, because they're pretty much diuretics, so they help to relieve bloating. All right, so that's the dandelion leaf. And then the St. John's wort, which is this one here. St. John's wort, you've probably heard of. It's very good for depression, and if you have any anxiety, anything like that. This is another one that you need to check with your doctor as well if you're on any kind of antidepressants, but it's very effective for that. So again, we have, oh wait, I almost forgot, because this one is kind of done, because I used up all of it to make this chai the other day. This is dried ginger root, and ginger root, is very warming for your insides. It helps with digestion. Very, very good during the time when you have your period as well. So again, I'm just going to lay them out for you so that you can see everything at one time. I have the ginger here, dandelion root, dandelion leaf, St. John's wort, some white willow bark, valerian, raspberry, some nettle, passion flower, cramp bark, chamomile, black cohosh, and peppermint and ginger. Another one that I want to kind of give an honorable mention to is mugwort. So the deal with mugwort is if you have difficulty with your period, if you have difficulty with menstruation, mugwort is a very good one to use for that, because what it does is it helps to regulate your period. So mugwort is good for that. So I wanted to make sure to mention that. And how I kind of use them is tinctures. So this one has black cohosh, it has some mugwort, and it also has mullein leaf in there. And pretty much I put the herbs in there and top it off with alcohol, right? So I think this is just vodka. In Florida, I know there are other states where you can get Everclear, which is like 190 proof, but Florida is one of those places where it's illegal. So I think the most that would go to is 150, which is what I have in here. And you can also use oils as well, like an infused oil. So I'll get down into that more in some upcoming videos, but I definitely wanted to share these with you. When you have a period, it is one of the things that I've struggled with throughout the years, ever since I was a little girl. So these are some of the herbs that you can mix up in any kind of little different formulation for whatever you need.
Okay, so that's his, you want to watch this video. It's herbs for women's health. You want to watch it. Yeah, so if you want to get those names, whatever. So any comments on that? Anybody got anything? Get anything out of it?
Yes.
Okay.
I've heard that the St. John's wort is good.
Okay.
To always keep around.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't think it'll hurt to have it, have a little bit of all of them.
Right. It will not.
That's what everything that's coming up. All the stuff that's going on.
I don't know much about the others, so I didn't speak much on that. But the St. John worts, I've heard of that. My grandmother talked about that one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So with that being said, I'm gonna open it up for some. Anybody have any questions or comments about anything they wanted to talk about before I go into the lesson? I'm gonna read out of the book of Jasher, and it's pertaining to Enoch. Got to do with Enoch. Anybody have any questions or comments about anything they heard or want to shine a light on? Okay. Okay. I'm going to start reading. I'm in Jasher. I'm in the black book, the book of Enoch, Jubilees, and Jasher. So I'm going to start reading in chapter 3. It says, and Enoch lived 65 years, and he begot Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God after having begotten Methuselah, and he served the Lord, and he despised evil. He despised the evil ways of men. And the soul of Enoch was wrapped up in the instructions of the Lord, in knowledge and in understanding. And he wisely retired from the sons of men and secreted himself from them for many days. And he was at the expiration of many years, while he was serving the Lord and praying before him in his house, that the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, here I am. And he said, rise, go forth from thy house and from the place where thou doest hide thyself, and appear to the sons of men, in order that thou mayest teach them the way in which they should go, and the work which they must accomplish to enter into the ways of God. And Enoch rose up according to the word of the Lord, and went forth from his house, from his place, and from the chamber in which he was concealed. And he went to the sons of men and taught them the ways of the Lord. And at that time assembled the sons of men and acquainted them with the instructions of the Lord. So a couple things I want to shine light on before I keep reading this, verse 4 says, and he said, rise and go. It says, angel of the Lord, right? Angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, here I am. And he said, here I am. So he said, it's Lord Hope. And he said, rise, go forth from thy house and from the place where thou didst hide thyself, and appear to the sons of men, in order that thou mayest teach them the ways in which they should go, and the work which they must accomplish, or to enter into the ways of God. So what you have to understand right here is Enoch is this is seven from Adam. So Adam had knowledge and all that too. So he had taught them. So when he say sons of men, he ain't talking about Adam's descendants. They already know. He's talking about the other people on earth. And so it goes back to what I keep on trying to tell you about Japheth and Ham and all them. So he says 5. And Enoch rose up. Look at this. Enoch rose up according to the word of the Lord and went forth from his house and from his place and from the chamber in which he was concealed. And he went to the sons of men, taught them. So these sons of men is not Adam's descendants. So it says, it says sons of men, and taught them the ways of the Lord. And at that time assembled the sons of men and acquainted them with the instructions of the Lord, right? And he ordered it to be proclaimed in all the places where the sons of men dwell, saying, where is the man who wishes to know the ways of the Lord and the good works, and let him come to Enoch. And all the sons of men then assembled to him, for all who desired this thing went to Enoch. And Enoch reigned over the sons of men according to the word of the Lord. And they came and bowed to him, and they heard his words. Remember that right there. They came and bowed. So all these kings, which is giants, all the people on earth, they come to Enoch, get to understand. So it says, and the Spirit of God was upon Enoch, and he taught all his men the wisdom of God and his ways. And the sons of men served the Lord all the days of Enoch, and they came to hear his wisdom. So let's look at that. It says in 7, all the sons of men being assembled to him, for all who desired this thing went to Enoch, and Enoch reigned over the sons of men according to the word of the Lord. Right? It says that they came and bowed to him, and they heard his words, and the Spirit of God was upon Enoch, and he taught all his men the wisdom of God. See that? So we know the angel of the Lord came to him. That's where he got the wisdom from. But no woman. That's what the Egyptians and the Greeks are taught, say. But he says right here, the angel of the Lord came here and dealt with him. And he got all his wisdom from this angel of the Lord. Then down here, it says in verse 7, all the sons of men then assembled him to him, and all who desired this thing went to Enoch, and Enoch reigned over the sons of men according to the word of the Lord. See that? And nobody else there. Wisdom coming from this Lord. See that? And they came and bowed to him, and they heard his words. And the Spirit of God was upon Enoch, and he taught all his men wisdom of the God and his words. And the sons of men served the Lord all the days of Enoch, and they came to bear his wisdom. See that wisdom. So let's look at it right quick. Let me go over here right quick. Shine light on this. So I'm in Isaiah right quick. And we know it's already been established that there's 7 angels he created in the very beginning. So I'm in Isaiah right quick. Chapter 11. Okay, it says, chapter 11, verse 1, there shall come forth a rod out of the stem of Jesse, and a branch shall grow out of his roots. And then the Spirit, see that? That's an angel. The Spirit of the Lord, that's one, shall rest upon him. The Spirit of wisdom, see that? That's 2. Understanding, 3. The Spirit of counsel, 4. might, 5, the spirit of knowledge, 6, and the fear of the Lord, 7. So one of these right here is with spirit, the angel of wisdom. See that? 7 angels. We know their names. So that's wisdom right there. Okay, just want to shine a light on that. Okay, so anyway, so I'm back over here in verse 9. And all the kings and the sons of men, both first and last, together with their princes and their judges, came to Enoch when they heard his wisdom, and they bowed down to him. They bowed down to him, and they also required of Enoch to reign over them, to which he consented. And they assembled in all 130 kings. See that? Now we know who these is. These giants, and giants that was in the area where they came from. These 600 angels came down. 200 angels came down during the time of Jared, which is Enoch's daddy. So 10 says, and they assembled in all 100 and they assembled in all 130 kings and princes, and they made Enoch king over them, and they were all under his power and command. And Enoch taught them wisdom, knowledge, and the ways of the Lord, and he made peace among them. See that? So, guys, look at the wording says, and he made peace with them. You don't talk like that when you talk about your folks. You got men and children that been born all the way from Adam. So these other people. So he made peace with these giants and with these other people that ain't got nothing to do with him and his kind. And he made peace among them. See that? And peace was throughout the earth during the life of Enoch. And Enoch reigned over the sons of men 243 years. And he did justice and righteousness with all his people, and he led them in the ways of the Lord. And these are and Enoch reigned over the sons of men 243 years, and he did justice and righteousness with all his people. Right? So that's 2 different separate people. And he led them in the ways of the Lord. And these are the generations of Enoch, Methuselah, Elisha, Elimelech, 3 sons, and their sisters, and Milcah and Naamah, and Methuselah lived 87 years, and he begot Lamech. And it was in the 60th year of the life of Lamech when Adam died. 930 years old was he at his death. And his 2 sons, with Enoch and Methuselah, his sons, buried him with great pomp. And at the burial of kings in the cave, which God had told him. And in that place, all the sons of men made a great mourning and weeping on account of Adam. And it has therefore became a custom among the sons of men this day. So let me shine light on something right quick. Go back up. It says, it says 14, and it was in the 60th year of the life of Lamech when Adam died, right? 930 years was he at his death. So a day with the Lord is 1,000 years. So he didn't make it. He told him, you weren't going to make it a day with me because of what happened in the garden. So he made it to 930 years. Say 15. And in that place, all the sons of men made a great mourning and weeping on account of Adam. It has therefore become a custom among the sons of men to do sons of men to do this day. And Adam died because he ate of the tree of knowledge, he and his children after him, as the Lord God had spoken. And it was in the year of Adam's death, which was the 243rd year of the reign of Enoch. In that time, Enoch resolved to separate himself from the sons of men and to secret himself as at first in order to serve the Lord. And Enoch did so, but did not entirely secret himself from them, but kept away from the sons of men 3 days, and then went to them one day. And during the 3 days that he was in his chamber, he prayed and praised the Lord, his God. And the day on which he went and appeared unto his subjects, he taught them the ways of the Lord. And all they asked him about the Lord, he told them. And he did in this manner for many years. And he afterwards concealed himself for 6 days and appeared to his people one day in 7. And after that, one in a month, and then once in a year, until all the kings, princes, and sons of men sought for him and desired again to see the face of Enoch and to hear his words, but they could not. And as for the sons of men, see that they're different. As for all the sons of men were greatly afraid of Enoch, and they feared to approach him on account of the godlike awe that was seated upon his countenance. Therefore no man could look at him, fearing he might be punished and die. And all the kings and princes reserved to assemble the sons of men and to come to Enoch, thinking that they might all speak to him at the time when he should come forth amongst them, and they did so. And the day came when Enoch went forth, and they all assembled and came to him, and Enoch spoke to them the words of the Lord and taught them wisdom and knowledge. And they bowed down before him, and they said, May the king live, may the king live. And then some time after, when the kings and princes and the sons of men were speaking to Enoch, and Enoch was teaching them the ways of God, behold, the angel of the Lord being called unto Enoch from heaven, and wished to bring him up to heaven to make him reign there over the sons of God. And he had reigned over the sons of men upon the earth. And when at that time Enoch heard this, he went and assembled all the inhabitants of the earth, and taught them wisdom and knowledge, and gave them divine instructions. And he said to them, I have been required to ascend into heaven, and I therefore do not know the day of my going. And now therefore I will teach you wisdom and knowledge, and I will give you instruction before I leave you, how to act upon the earth, whereby you may live. And he did so. And he taught them wisdom and knowledge, and gave them instructions, and he reproved them, and he placed before them statutes and judgments to do upon the earth. And he made peace among them, and he taught them everlasting life, and he dwelt with them some time, teaching them all these things. So 26 says he taught them wisdom and knowledge, and he gave them instructions, and he reproved them, and he placed before them statutes and judgments. So they're telling us that the statutes and judgments was introduced to us at Mount Sinai, but they was reintroduced. Because Enoch gave it to them right here. 27. And at that time, the sons of men were with Enoch. Enoch was speaking to them, and they lifted up their eyes in the likeness of a great horse descended from heaven, and the horse paced in the air. And they told Enoch what they had seen, and Enoch said to them, on my account does this horse descend upon the earth, and the time has come, and I must go from you, and I shall no more be seen by you. And the horse descended at that time and stood before Enoch, and all the sons of men that were with Enoch saw him. And Enoch then again ordered a voice to be proclaimed, saying, where is the man who delighted to know the ways of the Lord his God? Let him come this day to Enoch before he is taken from us. And all the sons of men assembled and came to Enoch that day, and all the kings of the earth with their princes and their counselors remained with him that day. And Enoch then taught the sons of men wisdom and knowledge, and gave them divine instructions. And he bade them serve the Lord and walk in his ways all the days of their lives. And he continued to make peace among them. Right? So we see right here, a horse came and got Enoch, right?
Right.
What JC on? What JC on in Revelation?
Don't know.
And don't he come with a white horse? He ride on a white horse?
Say that again.
Let me read it. I thought everybody knows that. Okay. I mean,
everybody don't know that.
Okay. Okay. Says, okay. Okay. Verse chapter 19, Revelation, verse 1. And heavens was open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and in righteousness he doeth judge and make war. And his eyes were as flames of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name was called the Word of God. See that? Ain't that something? It's JC. Did nobody know that?
I think I heard that a long time ago, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Let's see how was that. Okay. Let's see what. Okay. It says 32, and it was after this that the horse rose up and rode upon, and it was after this that he rose up and rode upon the horse, and he went forward, and all the sons of men went after him, and 800,000 men, and they went with him one day's journey. And the second day he said to them, return home to your tents. Why will ye go? Perhaps you may die. And some of them went from him, and those that remained with him 6 days' journey. And Enoch said to them every day, return to your tents, lest you may die. But they were not willing to return, and they went with him. And on the 6th day, some of the men remained and clung to him, and they said to him, we will go with thee to the place where thou goest, and as the Lord liveth, death only shall separate us. And they urged so much to go with him, and he ceased speaking to them, and they went after him and would not return. And when the kings returned, they caused a census to be taken in order to know the number of remaining men that went with Enoch. And it was upon the 7th day that Enoch ascended into heaven in a whirlwind, same whirlwind in Ezekiel, with horses and chariots of fire. And on the 8th day, all the kings that had been with Enoch sent to bring back the number of men that were with Enoch in that place where he had descended into heaven. And all those kings went to the place, and they found the earth there filled with snow, and upon the snow were large stones of snow. And one said to another, come, let us break through the snow and see, perhaps the men that remain with Enoch are dead. And now under the stones of snow they searched, but could not find him, for he had ascended into heaven. See, and all the days of Enoch lived upon the earth for 365 years. And when Enoch had ascended into heaven, all the kings of the earth rose and took Methuselah's son and anointed him. See that? And anointed him. See that? So this ain't no temple, but we got people getting anointed. See that? Methuselah got anointed. So that means all the rest of them got anointed. Him. And they caused him to reign over them in the place of his father. Did that ring a bell? They caused him to reign over them in the place of his father. Same with Solomon. David died. They called Solomon to reign over them. Just picking up from here. Same thing. It says that Methuselah acted uprightly in the sight of God, as his father Enoch had taught him. And he likewise during the whole of his life taught the sons of men wisdom, knowledge, and the fear of God. And he did not turn from the good way, either to the right or to the left. But in latter days of Methuselah, the sons of men turned from the Lord. They corrupted the earth. They robbed and plundered each other, and they rebelled against God, and they transgressed, and they corrupted their ways, and would not hearken to the voice of Methuselah, but rebelled against him. And the Lord was exceedingly wroth with them. And the Lord continued to destroy the seed of those that in those days, so that there was neither sowing nor reaping in the earth. And when they sowed the ground in order that they might obtain food for their support, behold, thorns and thistles were produced, which they did not sow. And still the sons of men did not turn from the evil ways. And their hands were still extended to do evil in the sight of God, and they provoked the Lord with their evil ways, and the Lord was very wroth and repented that he had made man. And he thought to destroy and annihilate them, and he did so. In those days when Lamech, the son of Methuselah, was 160 years old, Seth, the son of Adam, died. And all the days of Seth lived were 912 years, and he died. And Lamech was 180 years old when he took Ashun, the daughter of Elisha, the son of Enoch. Ashun, the daughter of Elisha, the son of Enoch, his uncle, and she conceived. And at that time, the sons of men sowed the ground, and a little food was produced. Yet the sons of men did not turn from their evil ways, and the trespassed and rebelled against God. And the wife of Lamech conceived and bore him a son at that time, at the revolution of the year. And Methuselah called his name Noah, saying, the earth was in his days at rest and free from corruption. And Lamech his father called his name Manchu, saying, this one shall comfort us in our works and in miserable toil in the earth, which God had cursed. And the child grew up and was weaned, and he went in the ways of his father Methuselah, perfect and upright with God. And all the sons of men departed from the ways of the Lord in those days, as they multiplied upon the face of the earth with sons and daughters. And they taught one another their evil practices, and they continued sinning against the Lord. And every man made unto himself a god. And they robbed and plundered every man his neighbor, as well as his relatives. And they corrupted the earth, and the earth was filled with violence. And the judges and their rulers went to the daughters of men and taught their wives by force from their husbands according to their choice. And the sons of men in those days took from the cattle of the earth, the beasts of the field, and the fowl of the air, and taught the mixture of animals, and of one species with another, in order wherewith to provoke the Lord. And God saw the whole earth, and it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted its ways upon the earth, all men and all animals. And the Lord said, animals. And the Lord said, I will blot out man that I created from the face of the earth, yea, from man to birds of the earth, of the air, together with cattle and beasts that are all in the field, for I repented that I made them. And all men who walk in their ways of the Lord died in those days, before the Lord brought the evil upon the man which he had declared. For this was from the Lord, that they should not see the evil which the Lord spake of concerning the sons of men. And Noah found grace in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord chose him and his children to raise up seed from them upon the face of the whole earth. So read chapter 5. It says, and it was in the, it says, and it was in the 84th year of the life of Noah, that Enoch, the son of Seth, died, and he was 905 years old at his death. So let's look at that. I'm going to read that again. I don't think nobody caught it. It says, and it was in the 804th year, 804 years of the life of Noah, that Enoch, the son of Seth, died. Anybody catch that? He was 905 years old at his death. I thought Enoch was taken up, right? Hello? Did Enoch die?
We do hear you.
Did Enoch die? or was he taken up?
It states that Enoch was taken up.
Yeah, so Enoch didn't die, right? He was taken.
Right.
It says right here, and it was in the 804th year of the life of Noah, Enoch, the son of Seth, died. So this ain't the same Enoch, what I'm trying to get you to see. This Enoch is Seth is his dad. Jared is the Enoch we talking about is the Enoch we talking about is Jared is his dad. So the reason I'm showing you that because that's something you can go Google because there's something going on with it. That's what I'm gonna do. But it says, and it was in the 804th year of the life of Noah, that Enoch, the son of Seth, died. So Seth had a son called Enoch, and he was 905 years old at his death. Yeah, something going on with that. So anyway, and in the 170 year of the life of Noah, Canaan, the son of Enoch, died. And all the days of Canaan were 910 years, and he died. And in 230 or 4th year of the life of Noah, Mahalalel, the son of Canaan, died. And the days of Mahalalel were 895 years, and he died. And Jared, the son of Mahalalel, died. And this Enoch father right here, Jared. And Jared, the son of Mahalalel, died in those days in the 336th year of the life of Noah. And all the days of Jared were 962 years, and he died. And all who followed the Lord died in those days before they saw the evil which the Lord declared to do upon the earth. And after all the lapse of many years, in the 408th year of the life of Noah, when all those men who had followed the Lord had died away from among the sons of men, only Methuselah was then left. God said unto Noah and unto Methuselah, saying, Speak ye and proclaim to the sons of men, saying, Thus saith the Lord, return from your evil ways, forsake your work, and the Lord will repent of the evil that he declared to do unto you, so that it shall not come to pass. For thus saith the Lord, Behold, I give you a period of 120 years. If you return to me and forsake your evil ways, then will I also turn away from the evil which I told you, and it shall not exist, says the Lord. And Noah and Methuselah spoke all the words of the Lord to the sons of men day by day, continuously speaking to them. But the sons of men would not hearken to them, nor incline their ears to their words, and they were stiff-necked. And the Lord granted them a period of 120 years, saying, if they will return, then will God repent of the evil, so as not to destroy all the earth. Noah, the son of Lamech, refrained from taking a wife in those days to beget children, for he said, Surely now God will destroy the earth, wherewith thee shall I beget children. And Noah was a just man, and he was perfect in his generation. And the Lord chose him to raise up seed from his seed upon the face of the earth. And the Lord said unto Noah, Take unto thee a wife, and beget children, for I have seen the righteousness before me in this generation. And thou shalt raise up seed, and thy children with thee in the midst of the earth. And Noah went and took a wife, and chose Naamah, the daughter of Enoch, and she was 580 years old, and Noah was 498 years old when he took Naamah for a wife. Naamah conceived and bore a son, and called his name Japheth, saying, God has enlarged me in the earth. And she conceived again and bore a son, and called his name Shem, saying, God has made me a remnant, and raised up seed in the midst of the earth. And Noah was 502 years old when Naamah bore Shem. And the boys grew up and went in the ways of the Lord, in all that Methuselah and Naamah their father taught them. And Lamech the father of Noah died in those days, yet verily he did not go with all his heart in the ways of his father. And he died in the 195th year of the life of Noah. And all the days of Lamech were 770 years, and he died. And all the sons of men who knew the Lord died in that year before the Lord brought evil upon them. For the Lord willed them to die so as not to behold the evil that God would bring upon their brothers and relatives as he had declared to do. In that time, the Lord said to Noah and Methuselah, stand forth and proclaim to the sons of men all the words that I spoke to you in those days. Peradventure they may turn from their evil ways, and I will then repent of the evil and will not bring it. And Noah and Methuselah stood forth and said in the ears of the sons of men all that God had spoken concerning them, but the sons of men would not hearken, neither would they incline their ears to all their declarations. And it was after this that the Lord said to Noah, the end of all flesh is come before me on account of their evil deeds. And behold, I will destroy the earth. And do thou take unto thee gopher wood, and go to a certain place, and make a large ark, and place it in that spot. And thus shalt thou make it 300 cubits in length, 50 cubits broad, and 50 cubits high. And thou shalt make unto thee a door, open at its side, and into a cubit. Thou shalt finish above and cover it within and without with pitch. And behold, I will bring the flood of the waters upon the earth, and all flesh will be destroyed from under the heavens. All that is upon the earth shall perish. And thou and thy household shall go and gather two couple of all living things, male and female, and shall bring them to the ark, and raise up seed from them upon the earth, and gather unto thee all food that is eaten by all animals, that there may be food for them, and for thee and for them. And thou shalt choose for thy sons 3 maidens, and the daughters of men, they shall be wives to thy sons. And Noah rose up and made the ark in the place where God had commanded him, and Noah did as God had ordered him. In his 550th year, Noah commenced to make the ark, and he made the ark in 5 years, as the Lord had commanded. Then Noah took his three daughters of Elkanah, son of Methuselah, for wives for his sons, as the Lord had commanded Noah. And it was at that time that Methuselah, the son of Enoch, died. 960 years old was he at his death. So I stopped at chapter 5. But I want to shine a light on something before I open it up in the comments. You notice he gave them 120 years. And he said, I got a flood coming. I'm going to bring a flood, but if you could turn from your wicked ways within these 120 years, I'm not going to bring the flood. I'm going to repent of it. Right? So they didn't. They didn't stop the sinning. So he brought the flood. I want to show you something else. Like I said, there's nothing new under the sun. So I'm in Daniel. So that was a crossroad right there. And there go another crossroad. I'm in Daniel. So I'm in Daniel chapter 9 and verse 20. So he's dealing with Israel right here. He says, and while I was speaking, okay, hold up, let me see where I'm in the right place. Okay. Okay, hold up. I think I'm in the right place. Yeah, said chapter 9, verse 20. And while I was speaking and praying and confessing my sins and the sins of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God, for the holy mountain of my God. Yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening operation. So here we go right here. He gave them Methuselah and Noah 120 years to preach to the people. And if they would turn, he wouldn't have brought the flood, but they didn't turn. So right here, Gabriel telling Daniel, And he informed me in verse 22. And he informed me, talked with me, and said, O Daniel, I am not come forth to kill thee, skill and understanding. At the beginning of thy supplication, the commandment came forth, and I am come to show thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision. So here we go. 70 weeks are determined. See that? 120 years was determined back there to give them time to make it up. They, in 120 years past, they didn't make it up. He brought the flood right here at the beginning of the 24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people, Israelites, and upon the holy city, upon Jerusalem, to finish transgression, to make an end of sin, and to make a reconciliation for iniquity, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and seal up the vision and the prophecy, and anoint the most holy. So he gave them 490 years. After the 70 years was up, he gave them 490 years when they went back. And let's see what they did. I'm in Ezra. This is how we got over here. So I'm in Ezra, and I'm in chapter, let me see, chapter 10. It says, now when Ezra had prayed, chapter 10, verse 1. Now when Ezra had prayed, and when he had confessed weeping and casting himself down before the house of God, there assembled unto him out of Israel a very great congregation of men, women, and children, for the people wept very sore. And Shemaiah, whatever his name, son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said unto Ezra, we have transgressed against our God, and have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our God, and put away all our wives, and such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and those that tremble at the commandments of our God, and let it be done according to the law. So we see they did the same thing our forefathers did. That's how we end up over here. So he gave them 120 years to make it up. They didn't do it. He brought the flood. He gave them 70 times 7, 490 years. Brought them back to the land, gave them gold in abundance and everything they needed, and they came back, picked right back up. Marrying strange women, going up in the high places. And that's why he brought Antioch Epiphany. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Okay? And that's why he keep asking the question, am I not righteous? So when you understand that, yeah, you're righteous. Over and over again, he proved himself to be righteous. Yeah, so with that being said, I'm opening it up for some questions. Anybody got any comments? Let me see what we got right here. Okay, it says Genesis 4:26, and himself, to him also there were born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. Right? Okay, so these are they got this typo, or yeah, it's typo, because in the book of Joshua it's saying they spell it Enoch, Enoch, so it must have been a typo. Okay. Any comments on what I read? Anybody got anything before we go? Okay. Everybody good?
Good.
Okay. Yeah, so I hope you got something out of there. Let me put this line on here. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna say shalom, and I'll see everybody tomorrow at 8 o'clock for Friday night Q&A. Shalom.
Shalom.